the feeling's right.
Hello, everyone. This is your always tactful host, Pendy.
And this is Paul, also known as EastX Twitch. What are you doing over there?
Oh, just some mining.
Mining? For what?
Oh, lots of things. Gold, alchemy stones, friendship stones.
Oh man, that sounds like a lot. I hope you have the stamina for it.
I should be good. I've got these gems to keep me going.
But that doesn't sound financially responsible.
It's not. And I'm also digging myself this hole while we're at it. Tonight's gonna get spicy.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, you'll see. We'll leave no stone unturned. Gotta dig my cares away. Gotta get this gold of mine. Gotta pick these stones away.
While Pendy digs himself deeper and deeper, I'll go ahead and welcome our audience to Tactfully Dai, a Slime Time podcast spinoff that covers just about everything in the world of Dragon Quest, the Adventure of Dai, and the Dragon Quest Tact mobile game.
That's right. We'll talk about the latest and greatest with Dragon Quest Tact first.
Good. Let's mine some talk about Tact.
Before we get down and dirty, I am very excited about some events that are coming to Tact in the West.
Right on. Eventually, we'll get Jinxed Jade in a small Dragon Quest VIII event, blossoms for characters like Angelo, Jessica, and Yangus. And after that, there'll be a true Dragon Quest V event where we'll get the protagonist from V and other characters like Pancraz.
Poor guy is probably weak to frizz.
Oh, burn.
I'm going to love getting Jinx Jade. She's a ZAM unit. She can put characters to sleep. She can charm in multiple ways. She's fast and has a multi-hit attack. It's everything I love in a character.
A sexy lady that embodies power creep?
Exactly. The true Dragon Quest V event is going to be great too. I saw that the Dragon Quest V protagonist can actually summon monsters. That will be cool.
Yeah, he'll be able to summon a Golem, a Slime Knight, or a Chimera, each with their own abilities.
I also saw the Protag's Sabretooth Buddy and the Hero Twins will be units we can get as well.
Those are all cool characters. Also, one of the big events will be an S-Stark Mega Boss Battle. Maybe it'll have a guild co-op mode this time too.
Not only that, our regular S-Stark will finally get his Blossom. S-Stark is a boss from Dragon Quest IV who wields two swords, and he was a powerful unit when he first arrived in Tact. I would bet money his Blossom will be just as good of an improvement as the Pizarro the Manslayer and the Dragonoid Vearn Blossoms were. S-Stark always seems to pop up as a huge post-game boss battle in multiple Dragon Quest games and attractions like Dragon Quest Island. He's got a reputation for being tough, so they should make his Blossom worth it.
Yeah, it would be weird if his Blossom was substandard. He needs to be large and in charge. It's always nice to have a good ZAM unit too. I'm with you there. And maybe they can make it so that he can one-shot Airdrip.
That'd be nice. They are going to have some great quality of life improvements to coincide with the DQ5 or the true DQ5 unit as well.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. You'll be able to roll 25 alchemy rolls instead of 5. The current limit is 5 and it takes forever to do 100. The auto rematch cap is also going up from 60 battles to 100.
Thank the goddess for that, especially the higher alchemy rolls. So much more efficient.
Yeah, because a lot of recent events have required us to do like 50, 100 or more alchemy rolls, and having to do them only 5 at a time is very slow and time consuming. 25 will be much nicer.
Yeah, especially since we have those alchemy scrolls, and usually to get them, you have to do alchemy like 100 times for each weapon, and man, just 5 at a time is too little.
Definitely. And then the auto battle thing, capping at 100 is good too, because like people like to put it on auto and then go to sleep, and this way you'll get that much more out of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And I also saw they're going to have a TNT board in the game you can do for prizes. I love that mini game in the Dragon Quest series where it pops up. There's a few games that have it. It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate it here.
So I haven't actually played the mini game in any Dragon Quest games that I can remember, but it sounds like dynamite.
Yeah, it's great. It's like a little mini, almost like a board game type of setup. And then you get to some squares, you'll battle monsters. Some will give you items and gold and things like that. Some will be negative where it'll be like, oh, you've lost HP and all sorts of different things like that. And then, of course, it's TNT stands for treasures and traps, or traps and treasures. I forget which one is which. But so there's traps too. So like sometimes you'll hit a square and it'll actually be a trap door and then you fall down to a lower level. And so it'll be fun.
Interesting. We'll have to see how they adapt that for Tact.
Yeah. And did you also get to see the recent English stream by our community manager, Malcolm?
No, but I did see the highlights that you and others shared.
Well, I was able to catch it and it was pretty good. We got a preview of the event for 10 that's going on right now. That was nice. nice. He showed footage of the opening and 2 of the characters we were getting. I saw Nocturne was in there in the chat. I gave him a shout out for his useful guides that mostly use free-to-play or general pool units when possible. He's doing the Lord's work by helping the little guy out.
Yeah, maybe they're not as good as my guides, but he does do some pretty good ones. Actually, Nocturne turned up to one of my Saturday Game School live streams, so that puts him at the top of the Dragon Quest coolness pyramid, if you ask me.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. And I guess he's a fan of this show, too. He mentioned that he loved our podcast.
The man obviously has good taste. I take back every mean thing I have ever said about him.
We joke, but he is the best. Thank you, Nocturne. Back to the stream discussion. The really big announcement at the stream was that they were going to do a 3 times rank up and upgrade campaign that just started and will last more than a month. I mean, that's a long time. It's great.
Well, I farmed a lot of the 3 times one that we had like a month ago, so I'm not hurting too bad for anything right now. So that's nice. When we have it for a long time like this, you can like use your stamina herbs for completing the event and then switch over to farming the campaign things, the rank up or the tomes or whatever. I like that freedom of it. Like, you don't feel too much pressure this time.
No, because usually it's only like a week and you have to try and divvy up your stamina between trying to do that and also trying to do what's going on in whatever event's going on at the time. So it can be difficult because you got to force yourself to really prioritize. But now with it being like about more than a month, now you can do it whenever you want. Yeah, like you said, no pressure to get it done real quick, so you can go back and forth between what you need to do. It freed me up to go after more friendship stones since I knew it was coming soon. We recently got that 3 times upgrade campaign that you mentioned, and I did get some farming in myself as well, but I was going to have to sacrifice going after the stones to do more because I wasn't sure if we were going to get another one after a long time. Now I have a 5-heart Miss Vearn, hey Vearn, because of it, since I was able to switch over to doing those. How did you do with your friendship stone farming overall?
Well, I gotta admit, I did not finish the friendship stone farming. I am going to be happy with a 4-heart Miss Vearn, I guess. Yeah, I really wanted tomes, and yeah, it's true, we can get more tomes now, but I'm hoping the Miss Vearn is not going to be that dang important, Like previously, I only got Jade to 4 hearts back when we had her because I missed out on getting the last one, And although it's put me at a little disadvantage stat-wise when I'm following videos, I have been able to do pretty much everything, So I'm hoping Miss Vearn is just not even going to factor in that much in general strategies. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you at least got the 2 rewards that had like the 30 shards for like the mystery and the heroes, right?
Yes, I did.
There you go. That was the most important part because those shards are absolute gold to go after those, because then you can use those and build them up to get more awakenings, which is great, and not have to go after banners to do it. That was the most important thing. I'm sure having a 4-heart Vearn is not going to be a big deal. And I'll tell you what, this last part of the event was so stamina heavy. I don't blame you that you weren't able to get that too. You had the friendship stones that didn't drop easily, the 2 times gold missions, the alchemy stone mining missions, the 2 times rank up, and the 3 times upgrade campaigns. I was into the 150 gem refreshes for a large part of that back half of the Dai event, but that's not for everybody to do that. So I would not blame anybody that would not go after that 5th heart, because it was so much stamina to get all that stuff.
Oh man, I think I've only ever used that much stamina from gems maybe like once a long time ago. So yeah, hard for me to imagine, but hey, good for you. You were very productive and it helps our guild, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, I was I saw that we're number 3 right now or something like that, and we're still short a person.
That is true. Let's hope that's not a permanent situation.
No, but yeah, I think we'll talk about that a little bit later too, as to why. But the last big banner unit of this Dai event was Dark King Vearn. Hey Vearn, and he's got some major frizz and non-elemental damage going on. And if you kill him, he revives with 100% of his health. I figured that he'd be an invaluable defense unit, so I went pretty hard on him. I got him to 4 hearts and then used shards, which a lot of those I got from the friendship stones, to get him to 5. So did you have much luck with getting Vearn? Hey Vearn, or any of your other recent pulls?
Well, I did okay.
Or at least the Dai pulls. We'll get into the other pulls later.
Yeah. I did okay. I got 3 hearts on Dark King Vearn, which is pretty good, but he I think to be really good in RTA he needs all 5, but still he'll have to do. Certainly for PvE he'll be just fine. And then Mom I also got to 3 hearts, and Dai, the new Dai the second, whatever you want to call him I got to 5 hearts by I used a rainbow ticket for the final one, but I just done so well with him that I had to go ahead and take him all the way. And he is a great and useful unit, so So at least I got one of them all the way.
That's some pretty good luck overall. And speaking of luck, I had some pretty good luck in single arena. I had another perfect week, and I finally got my 10th golden trophy.
Way to go on that. That is a lot of perfect weeks. And I actually had a perfect week last week, which was nice because I hadn't had one for quite a while. You know, it's not like I particularly try hard to go after them or anything. But I was lucky. Just in these last few weeks, I've gotten matched up against a lot of people who haven't like fully leveled their monsters and stuff. So there haven't been any days that were really dire, which is what often happens to me. But
yeah, you get that one team that's like, or that one like group of teams, because you can shuffle in between them, and
right.
Everyone's like a whale team, and it's like, oh no, I can't go perfect with this.
Yeah, exactly. And you know me, I don't really like to mess with my team composition much. So when that happens, sometimes, you know, I don't end up perfect. Usually I still win, but I lose some points from it. But anyway, this week I am currently perfect, knock on wood, but we'll see how it goes for today and tomorrow's matches.
Oh, me too. I've done today already, so I just have, what's today, Friday? So Saturday, one more. And if I can get that, then another perfect week. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but when you do get a perfect week, or when you do get 10 perfect weeks, you get a fun golden icon out of it. Now I only have to do it 90 more times for the 100 gold trophy icon.
Wow, I don't want to think about that. While you might have had some good luck in the single arena, we as a guild didn't have as much luck in the guild arena.
No, we did not. You know, as we talked about last time, we needed a new person to fill our 20th spot on the guild. We had a guy on standby, and he did join us. Not the strongest box, but someone we could help get stronger, we thought.
Yes, but unfortunately, he turned out to be completely unreliable.
We have one thing we need in our Aces 1 guild: communication. We had a very tough going of it because he didn't do that.
Yeah, it was a horrible sign when he almost completely ghosted us the first round.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like he started the fight, but then closed the game and just let it hang there. His fight said he was in progress for pretty much a whole day.
Yeah, and he eventually did get back into the fight, but it was a loss. Thankfully for that match, it didn't matter, and we won overall for the day.
But then came a matchup against one of our real rivals, TWR. We tried to get him to communicate in the Discord so that we could coach his match.
That day, he shows up and says he's ready for coaching.
He could have gone into the voice chat right away and gotten help. People were already in there just doing just that, but you know, he's new, trying to figure stuff out, whatever, that's fine.
Then 9 minutes later, we tell him, hey, we're in here already, come on, please come in and we'll help you.
But nope, he says he has to go run errands, and then he disappears.
He didn't even lose his fight the regular way that day. He completely ghosted it, so he contributed no points whatsoever.
And we lost to TWR because of it. They only won by 35 points. Had our coaches been able to help him, we could have potentially pulled out a win, and that would have put us over the top.
Yeah, that was pretty frustrating because everyone else, that's the thing, when you have that one selfish or irresponsible person, like everyone else is working so hard and doing their best, but all it takes is one person when you're matched up that closely to tank it for everyone, and that's just what he did.
Yeah, because everyone else, like, not everyone had a win. There's some people that had losses, but, you know, everyone at least, like, got help or at least tried, actually did their match, and he just, like, he ghosted it completely. We won 3 out of our 4 matches in the qualifier and went down to the Platinum League.
Usually, if we end up in Platinum, we get first place. Not this time. Having an unreliable player like that just tanked us.
Yeah, that dead weight didn't help. We ended up in second place after losing to TW Star.
Consequently, we kicked him out as soon as possible. Then, I'm told he was hit by a bus. Very sad.
And we are still looking for a 20th player. If you are out there, listener, and you do have a decent box and are willing to be communicative in our Discord, let us know. We'll be glad to have you.
As long as running errands won't get in your way.
You know, we may have talked a lot of smack in here about that guy, but we are pretty forgiving if you at least put some kind of effort into it. That's all we ask.
That's true. DQT Aces is a great group of people, and we're always helping each other across our 3 guilds.
And there's no collusion among us and the other guilds either.
Wait, what? Collusion? Are we talking about Tact or Russia?
Oh, I'm talking about somebody from the guild Starfall going on our Tact Facebook group and accusing guilds of colluding with each other to try and take them down. Starfall, if you didn't know already, is by far the #1 guild in the game, as far as I can tell. They are consistently first place voice in just about everything they do, and they pretty much crush the competition.
And they can't even be bothered to write their guild name in letters that we can read. But you're right about them crushing everybody. They've got the money, honey. That guild crushes us every time we play against them in guild arena tournaments. We've never beaten them.
We seem to get them in the qualifiers too often, too. We've been out of the Master League at least a few times because of that.
Bless them for their financial support of the game, but keep them away from us. Anyway, one of their members comes on the Facebook group and starts going on this rant about guilds conspiring against them.
Yeah, supposedly a spy from one guild would see them in a qualifying guild match and would go warn other guilds and show them their setup.
He went on and on about fair play and cheating.
Which, to be honest, I thought was a little ironic. First of all, he couldn't provide any proof. Secondly, a lot of those top guilds are just auto-playing a majority of their real-time arena matches with auto-clickers. 3 or 4 of the top 10 guild people in RTA right now are Starfall auto-clickers. If you're using an outside-of-the-game program to play the game for you, guess what? That's cheating. That's not necessarily fair either.
Yes, that is definitely a form of cheating. We specifically have a rule against discussing things like that in our Facebook group because we don't approve. Of course, you might be wondering, well, does it give them an advantage in the actual fight? No, it does not. However, they're really tough to beat even if they're on auto, right? So they just get in a lot of matches and they accrue a lot of points as a result, and that just keeps them in the top 100, like with way less effort than everybody else would have. Not even in just the top 100, but like the top 10 or whatever, right?
Right. And am I really mad about the auto-clicking? Not at all. I think some people in our guild do it too. And let's face it, I do my own form of cheating.
Pendy, going to the strip club doesn't count as cheating. Just don't go in the champagne room or anything.
Oh, it's right. Okay, duly noted. No. I use guides to clear some content. That's technically cheating too because I'm not doing the content on my own. And that's fine, as long as you're not doing something to the game to the detriment of other people. And that's an important clarification there, as we'll see later in the podcast. It's not a big deal as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, but I would not consider following guides cheating. That would make the people who make guides be cheating too. And it's like, no, we're offering support. We're all helping each other and thriving as a community. So different, like you said, much different from doing things that somehow hurt other players.
Yes, for a minute there, I briefly considered going over to the dark side.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
I do have the box to do it. I could just throw together a 5-heart Forest Dragon, Dragonoid Vearn, and Zenlon type team, throw them in the back, and auto-click my days away. But you know what? I'm fine. I still get most of the awards I want in the shop for consistently hitting Legend and then doing some matches here and there.
Good. That's all it takes, right? In fact, I think I hit Legend this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice. You're ahead of me then, because I'm still at Master 1.
Oh, wow. Well, go EastX. No. But yeah, I basically, like, when I see the RTA open up, I do as many matches as I can until I start to get stomped and get frustrated by it. You know, it's like, I just want to have a little fun with it. When it stops being fun, that's okay. I'll go do something else.
And, I almost forgot. What was really funny was that this Starfall guy threatened us and said his guild would quit if this supposed collusion behavior would continue, saying that the game would fall apart if they weren't in it. I mean, I know they do some very heavy whale lifting with all the financial support that they have to do to be able to have those types of teams, which is great for support of the game, but screw you, buddy. I mean, they're full of themselves if they think they can single-handedly take down the game. On the other hand, I don't want to assume. Maybe it's just this one guy who's a jerk and not the whole guild.
Well, I missed out on that particular discussion because I guess like one of his threads got deleted or whatever, so I didn't get to see everything. But yeah, you know, like certainly it would be a big impact if they somehow actually convinced all 20 of those big spenders to completely stop spending on the game. It would hurt the game. You know, like I think the developer would not be happy about that. But they're not the only ones who spend money on the game. Like this game I think it must be pretty profitable. You know, some people claim that it's like shedding players, but we've seen new players recently from different events and such. So I don't know. I don't think the game hinges, hopefully, on any one guild. But yeah.
I think it's doing pretty well. I mean, we literally just hit our 2.5 anniversary, doing so much better than the Dai game ever did, or Dragon Quest of the Stars. Like that didn't last too long either. But hey, in the West, we are still going strong. And a lot of it has to do with other people from around the world in the West and that are helping us out and supporting the game. And I think we're doing okay.
It is a nice international community. And in our guild, which is almost all North Americans, but not entirely, I mean, like a lot of us spend at least a couple hundred a month, right? Not every single person in the guild, but quite a few. So, and that's just one guild out of the top 10, right? And there's going to be other guilds in the top 10 that all spend a decent amount. And when there's a big event, then we end up spending more, right? So I know you and I both, like, we spent a lot last month, so we're ready to cut back a little bit. But still, the game should be able to survive that.
Yeah. Speaking of possible misunderstandings, I saw that a fellow Tact content creator tried to call you out for rage quitting in Real-Time Arena, of all things, in another Tact Discord server.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It's like I'm in this Tact Discord server where I don't really have time to chat in it. So the one time I'm ever brought over there is for somebody to talk trash about me. It was just out of nowhere. I don't know if he knows who I am, that I lead the Facebook group as well, that he's a part of at my whim, so to speak. Not that I'm not like that, but but it just didn't, like, RTA. Firstly, it heavily favors people who can spend more money, right? So it's not like a pure measure of our skill or anything like that. So it's like, okay, you beat me, but you don't have to be talking trash about me just because I didn't want to stay the whole time. Because after a certain point, there's nothing else you can do, and you might as well just give up.
Yeah, and I just don't think he knows what rage quitting really is in RTA. In RTA, if you're going to lose, you're going to lose, and you quit early, that's not rage quitting. That's just being efficient with your time. I do it constantly. I'm not going to waste my time and be pummeled. I'm going to move on to the next fight. We have a limited time window, and why would I sit there and waste it? That would be silly.
Yeah.
For example, like if I have 2 people left and they're both asleep, I'm not going to sit there for an impossible miracle to happen. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And in fact, one of the new quality of life features coming up in the Japanese 3-year anniversary, so we should get it in like 6 months, that we failed to mention before, is the ability to quit in RTA when it's not even your turn. Thank goodness, because it is really annoying. I've had times when I'm clearly losing and then like 4 of them get to go, and it's like, you're really going to make me just sit there and wait? Why wouldn't you just let us quit whenever?
Right, exactly. And real rage quitting is when someone is getting their ass handed to them and they just close the game entirely. This forces the opponent to sit there while the game tries to connect to them while they're not there. I've had this happen to me before. Sometimes I'm sure it's just a real connection issue, but most of the time it's kind of obvious with the timing of when it happens.
It usually is, and it can be annoying. That's RTA for you, though.
Yeah.
So that content creator also tried to encourage gaming the system by manipulating guild size, thereby screwing over smaller, weaker guilds from getting decent guild arena awards.
Yeah, this is where we have the issue where something like this, because it affects other people, we are not good with. And that did not go over well in the Global Tact Facebook group. Some people got angry over it, and rightly so. Consequently, we took that post down. We just don't want to encourage anything like that, especially if you're going to potentially screw over the little guy like that.
Yeah, be honest, darn it. Are there any other people or guilds we can moan about today?
The big dweeb squad. The big Draki squad, of course.
Ugh, those jerks. I saw that one of them appraised our guild as not being a top 5 guild, even though we totally were until we lost a man. That Draki dude is hella jealous.
We are mostly kidding around, though. Why do we claim that the big Draki squad is our nemesis?
Ugh.
I liked the name Big Draki Squad back in the day, and it was just fun to imagine them as our mortal enemies. It was just an excuse to do silly wrestling bits like we've done in the past on the show.
Well, I'm not kidding. Anyway, why are you bringing them up?
Well, I got to meet some of them recently.
Oh no, they didn't try to beat you up and take your lunch money, did they?
Not at all. Some of them did a server raid of the Dragon's Den Discord recently. That's where my old guild is from and where I hang out a lot. And guess what? They were all very nice. Some of them even stuck around, and they're a nice addition to the server.
Well. The nicest one from that group should lose that 0 and come join a hero. But enough about those clowns. What do you think of the current Dragon Quest X event so far? We had a nice pool party for it last night.
We did. During the pool party, we also got to welcome a new member to our family of Aces guilds, Cuban Cuisine. He joined the Aces 2 guild. He's a new player to the game, and we're all helping him build up his box and give him advice.
Yeah, he seems to understand chatting and learning about strategy and not running errands at foolish times. So far, so good. And with all the bonuses the 2.5-year anniversary event has, now's a good time for folks to start playing Tact, or to come back if they haven't played in a while.
It sure is. For the Dragon Quest X event, I only did the 1 guaranteed S gem pull and some ticket pulls, but no Lightning Luminary yet. A few people in our guild got her, though. We also had some people get some fantastic units in the 48-hour Erdrick Pizarro pools. These 48-hour banners are a fantastic value, as the pool of characters, in addition to the banner units that they have, are really good. I remember you ran into some technical difficulties trying to get some paid gems, though. Are you still running into that error?
Yes, it sucks. So I bought a $100 Google Play card from Best Buy, and I added it to my account. Then afterwards, Google Play itself and the game decide they won't let me spend this gift card. It's saying that there's a region error, like I'm set to the wrong region, which I'm not. My region has never changed. It is a North American gift code that I entered. It's just some stupid bug with the Google Play Store. My fiance actually ran into almost the same problem. Like, she got slightly different error text, but almost the same thing. And she wasn't able to make any purchases for like 4 or 5 days. And both times it's like right around when there's special events going on and you need to be able to make those time limited purchases, right? Ugh. So I immediately went into like support chat and tried to get it solved, but they said they couldn't take care of it for me, so they had to bump it up. And today, they had to escalate it. Anyway, so today it still has not been taken care of, and so I've got to go back and pester them again soon.
Oh, that's awful. I hope you're able to get it fixed soon.
Thank you. The most frustrating part is that I might miss out on some of the 48-hour banners. I can't go beyond 2 pulls on the Summer Seraphie banner, for instance, today's banner. I really wanted to get her, but I'll try to get by somehow. It's just going to hurt my progress a little bit, potentially. Now then, before we get into the die portion of the show, it's time for the Tact Tip of the Day.
Tip of the Day!
Did you know that there are multiple Tact-themed Discord servers that can help you out with the game?
That's right, tacticians. Discord servers such as DQ Hub, EastX Twitch, Dragon's Den, and more have friendly and helpful people that can give you great advice and coaching.
Just be careful about letting all those errands you might have to run get in the way of your chatting.
That's hilarious and amazing. That was our Tact Tip of the Day. Tip of the Day. Now let's get into some die.
Every week, we're going to review at least 2 episodes from the newest Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai anime.
We'll also get into other die-related news, such as the upcoming die console game, Infinity Strash, merchandise, and whatever else we find in the world of die.
Whatever. So now let's talk about episode 37, All in an Instant. In this episode, Mom continues to battle superior being Zamza. Her refractor fist continues to chip away at Zamza until he's able to cover her hands in a sticky substance shot out of his mouth. Ew. With the help of Chu, Dai makes his way to the Sword of Champions, where he uses a stamina item to give himself the power to do an Avon Strash to finish off Zamza. Zamza reveals the Sword of Champions is a fake, and that Hadlar is already in possession of the real sword. Before Zamza dies, he's able to transfer his research to his father Zabuera to perfect Hadlar's transformation.
For this episode, even though Zamza is not my favorite, I love this episode simply because Mam continues to show off her new skills. I also like the teamwork between Dai, Chu, Pop, and Mam at the very end to take out Zamza. It was fun to see the origin stories behind the Refractor Fist and the use of Overheal. I can't remember that being a concept in any of the Dragon Quest games. It's very cool though. I love the moments with Chu trying to find some sort of stamina item. He's just ripping out items left and right out of his tunic. I feel like he has some kind of Dragon Quest style magic bag in his tunic, because as they say in the games, there's always room in your bag.
Oh yeah.
The little flashback to him fighting teeny sanguinis was great as well. I wonder what they are in the manga. That monster, did not exist back then. They first appeared in Dragon Quest IX.
Ooh.
And I watched the opening again too, and they are now at the point where they are starting to show flashes of a lot of new characters yet to come. There is this particular group of bad guys that will be great once we get to them. It's too bad that they will be beyond the scope of the upcoming Infinity Strash game. We are getting pretty close to where the game will stop in the story. Finally, do yourself a favor and go to minute 1646 in this episode. That is one monstrous badonkadonk. The proportions are they're just hilarious. Once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not sad to see Zamza go, but it was a good episode overall, in my opinion. What did you think?
Well, we all know how much you love a good monster butt.
It is gigantic, man. You gotta go back and check it out. It's ridiculous.
Indeed. Well, Zamza is a tool, so it's pretty satisfying to see Mom whoop up on him till she gets his gross puke on her hands. At that point, I'm like, man, come on, just let her be strong. But yeah, they need some tension. The way Pop helps her out of this stuff is nice, though. A pretty clever solution to that problem. So we learn how Mom's new power is able to damage Zamza and the trap that everyone was caught in before a few episodes back. She basically hypercharges things with healing magic, which she called Overheal, healing, and that ends up being destructive. It's clever. It's a super secret technique that Mom learned from her master, who trusts her never to use it for evil. And of course she won't. When Zamza dies, we're actually led to feel sorry for him because we learn just how cruel his father Zabuera was to him. Even though Zamza was a monstrous darkling, a jerk, he just wanted to please his awful parent. You know, he never really had a chance. The show does a great job of inspiring sympathy in a wicked character, so that's something. However, the heroes are dumb for letting Zamza send his research back to his dad before he passes away. What dummies. What a blunder.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh well, I guess the show must go on. And that's the end of the tournament arc, and it was a fun arc.
Next, we have episode 38, The World Summit. Dai and company reunite with Leona and Crocodine in the Popnica Kingdom, where Leona is gathering the world's leaders for a summit. Merla conjures a vision that Dai can find his next sword in Pop's hometown. Dai breaks off of Pop, Mom, and Merla to pursue the sword, and Pop's father is able to introduce them to Lon Baruch, a darkling who is capable of making legendary weapons. After Dai proves that he's capable of wielding a legendary weapon, Lon Baruch agrees to make him a sword. However, Dai must supply some orichalcum, a rare metal. Dai gets the metal from his crown of champions, which he left at Durnline Island. Meanwhile, Hadlar has asked Mist Vearn, "Hey Vearn!" to attack the summit and give him time to finish transforming into a superior being.
Yeah, by the way, that metal, orichalcum, I always want to say orichalcum, you know, like it's just such a weird spelling.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was saying it that way myself for years until I finally started to hear people say it in anime and stuff like that.
Maybe they were wrong and we're right. You just never know.
Yeah.
They're wrong about how you say Zabuera after all.
True.
So here's my review of this episode. I like the break from boss battles that this episode gives us, because that's most of the show. It's a series of boss battles, like several shonen mangas and animes, right? And in Papnica, we get to see the fighters from the tournament that just ended give their thanks to Dai, Mom, and Pop, which is cool, you know, to have that continuity. They didn't just vanish. Then Chu, Mom's fat rat friend, has sour grapes about what he perceives as inadequate recognition, and he gets chastised by the ghost from the tournament. It turns out that the, quote, ghost was Chu and Mom's master, Brokina, so Chu looks silly for arguing with him. The little mouse learns to stop seeking fame, or does he? And he officially tags along with the heroes when they leave to seek a legendary sword for Dai. So those are fun moments. Then we learn that Hadlar has given up his immortality to become a superior being. All he cares about now is defeating Dai. At the summit, Dai and Princess Leona are reunited, but there's no hint of their attraction, unfortunately, because one thing I liked earlier on is that Dai seems to have a crush on her, and maybe it's reciprocated. But you get no follow-up on that in this episode, at least. Merla returns and helps to point Dai's team in the right direction for that legendary weapon they're looking for. She points them to Pop's hometown. Pop's dad is super hard on Pop, but I am glad to learn more about Pop's life, because this particular anime, the newer anime, doesn't give us much insight to Pop usually. The original show had a little bit extra flashback-wise. When Dai heads back to Durnline Island to retrieve his crown towards the end of the episode, he should have visited a little with his grandfather Brass instead of immediately leaving, because he just grabs the crown, takes off, and it's supposed to be funny, but it actually seems kind of heartless to me. We don't get that many chances to see Grandpa Brass. Anyway, how'd you like it?
Yeah, and getting back to that thing with Brass, I know that they're in a big rush to try and get everything done and completed, but yeah, it's like his grandfather, that he had such an emotional attachment to it, basically the person who raised him, and he's like, "Hey Grandpa, okay, bye Grandpa."
You couldn't have spent 5 minutes to have a conversation with him.
But I guess that's accurate to like someone his age, or maybe a little bit older, like, you know, college kids were like, "Hey, I'm doing laundry, okay, bye."
Hey, so heartless ones.
Yeah, that's too bad. But, you know, it was a fun setup episode. I really liked the meeting between Chu and Crocodine in particular. Chu is just so freaked out about him. It's so funny how they did that. And, you know, poor Merla is thrilled to help, but she sees why Pop likes Mam so much. That was her introduction to meeting her for the first time, because what she thought was Mam the first time was actually a fake Mam, the evil mom. And so that was not the real person. Not a lot of action per se in this episode, but a lot of setup going on here, which is fun. I did enjoy all the character interactions throughout the episode, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm right with you there, and that bit with Crocodile certainly was quite funny. Then we have episode 39, The Landing of Sovereign Rock Castle. And tonight we're going to discuss 3 episodes, since we didn't get to talk about the anime in our last podcast installment. So in episode 39, The Landing of Sovereign Rock Castle, the main headquarters of the Dark Army, begins its assault on Papnica. Dai must stay behind to help Lon Baruch finish creating his sword, and everyone else reunites to fight the Dark Army. Bengarna's tank brigade and a Romos warship assault the Sovereign Rock Castle. They fight it. This does nothing more than reveal the castle's true form, though. The castle then takes out the ship and most of the tanks.
Yes, so this was a good episode to show what they are really up against. I like the look of the true form of Sovereign Rock Castle with the design and the big blue flames. The CGI transition is a little janky, but it's not too bad. Some of the lines in this dub are fun. Like, for example, in particular, when Pop's father says, "He turned that little wimp into a man." Just the way he says man is hilarious. A man. Or when Zolpan says, "Landing, cancel." That was my attempt at doing a high-pitched voice. Sorry.
You sounded just like him.
Yeah, like her.
Her, that's what I meant to say.
Yes, of course. Which, by the way, it's always good to see the fake heroes up to their shenanigans. And on a side note, if you check out Pop's Zoom in this episode, Chew looks absolutely adorable, just clinging to Mom before they take off. He's got like big, goofy eyes, just kind of like, oh no, is this going to be safe? Or am I going to be okay? Mom, I need to hold on to Mom.
That's amusing. You know why I didn't know who you were talking about? Because her name is Zolban with a B.
Oh, did I pronounce it wrong? That's can't have a good episode of Dai, Tactfully Dai, without me mispronouncing a name or two.
Yeah, well, that's on me too for not catching it earlier. Anyway, so my thoughts on the episode. Well, I liked seeing Crocodine apologize to the king of Hapnika, though it's a very brief sequence. For people who've been watching the show, you would know that Crocodine originally tried to kill the king. You know, he assaulted his castle back when he was still leading the Beast Army as a bad guy. So again, it's good to have that continuity where we see that Crocodine is a changed person. He apologizes, and he doesn't literally apologize. He just kind of he bows to him, basically. And the king very quickly accepts it. He's like, oh, so you're a friend of Dai now. It's like, wow, he got over that really easily, didn't he? So, I mean, that exchange deserves more time and depth to it, but at least they did it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, there's the guy who almost destroyed my kingdom. Whatever. So they at least acknowledged it.
Yeah, and that's important. Then Bengarna's king and officers are jerks, so it's fitting that they get a comeuppance when their vehicles are destroyed. I mean, it sucks for the soldiers, but they were being so pompous that, something had to give there. Sovereign Rock Castle was able to surprise everyone at the summit, we learned, because Vearn cloaked it with mist. So it turns out that his mist powers are pretty useful. And yeah, he's a pretty tough dude, as we'll see in the next coming episodes. The castle, as you mentioned, it looks pretty cool. It's basically a kaiju or a giant robot or whatever when it's walking around with arms and legs.
Yeah.
Also, another fun moment, Baduk, the old soldier, has repaired Crocodine's axe. So Crocodine gets his axe back, and it's always good to see these two together. They get along really well. And yeah, this episode, it's just the start of something, but it's a fine introduction to the next big battle arc.
Before we leave you today, we've got some great news on the Dai anime dub.
That's correct. All 100 episodes of the new Dai anime are now on Hulu.
It's kind of all over the place when it comes to the rest of the options, though.
Indeed. The BBC iPlayer is sitting at 75 episodes like we reported last time.
Hoopla, Vudu, and the Microsoft Store are still sitting at 50.
And all 100 episodes in subtitle form are still available on Crunchyroll.
For our future episode reviews, I could switch to Hulu since I have Hulu, but my Hulu is the one that's a little bit cheaper and has the ads. So I'll stick with the free Hoopla app for now, which has no ads. Though if they don't get anything past 50, then I'll be forced. I'll have to go to Hulu at that point.
So I want to point out that ad-free Hulu is worth it. Ads suck. So bite the bullet. That's what I suggest. But actually, I'm not on Hulu right this minute, but I'm going to start it back up when Futurama comes back very soon.
Oh yeah, okay. That's definitely worth it. I'm going to check that one out too.
Heck yeah, I can't wait. But I am frustrated that we can't buy the new episodes on Vudu or the Microsoft Store. If they've got the episodes dubbed, what's the reason not to charge us money for it? And are we going to have to wait a really long time because of some kind of deal they made with Hulu? If so, that sucks.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. We were speculating last time that the way that it's worked in the past is that they would show up on the BBC iPlayer first, and then like a month or two later, then they would show up on the platforms over here, like the library app and the Vudu and all that. And I forget how much time it's been since those episodes showed up on the iPlayer, but it's probably around that time, I would guess. So hopefully they show up on it soon. Like you said, like there's no like weird deal that went on where it's like, oh, now it's exclusively at Hulu and screw everybody else. So hopefully it does show up on those other formats. I would be sad if it doesn't.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it's not that I mind Hulu Hulu at all. Like, I'll pay and watch it there if I have to, but the problem is I already bought the first 50 episodes on Vudu, so I'd like to just be able to own them all, please.
Yeah, and you get to actually like own it and not like depend on a streaming service that you have to basically rent out to be able to watch.
That's true. I mean, Vudu could shut its doors someday, but that's unlikely to happen anytime soon. And especially places like Hulu, they license a show for a set period of time, like 1 year, 3 years, whatever. After that, the show goes away. So yeah, I want to always be able to watch these episodes.
Yeah, don't blame you. You know what was amusing about when it came up on Hulu? It started on Hulu 1 July. They labeled it as a series from 1991.
Oh, wow. That's not the right year at all. I see they got it confused with the old anime, actually. That must be what happened.
Yeah, they did. So it's fixed now and it has the correct date. But that would be amazing if they dubbed the old series and had it there too. One can dream.
Yeah, or they should dub the movies, because the movies are different, right? Like the new series covers the same ground, basically. But give us those movies, darn it. But we have one last breaking bit of Dragon Quest news. And that's that Dragon Quest Treasures launched on Steam today. Treasures was previously exclusive to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it was basically shadow dropped. Like, I didn't see anything about any kind of announcement like, hey, it's coming to Switch or whatever. It was just like everything in their social media just like dropped today and said like, hey, we're going to do a stream today about it. And it's on Switch right now and go ahead and get it. And they gave away some free copies during their stream. And it was just like, it just came out of nowhere. And it's like, but I'm not complaining. I mean, it would have been nice to get like a heads up on it to know that it's coming. But I'm glad that it's on a second platform so that it's more available to people to get.
Yeah, because one thing we should point out, like Square Enix seems to be in really good with Nintendo right now. Like we had Treasures as a timed exclusive. Then we've got the upcoming Monsters game that is possibly a timed exclusive. Otherwise, it's a real exclusive. Who knows? But the people that are affected by that are people who want graphical fidelity, who want performance. Because Treasures is a good game and it runs quite well on the Switch, but like it still could look a million times better on any other platform, right? So now we can run it on Steam and it's no longer hindered by the ancient Switch hardware. That's a great thing. And Steam Deck, which is Steam's portable device and kind of a Switch competitor of sorts, although it's more expensive, well, it's fully Steam Deck compatible too. So you can play it on the go as well, but it'll just load way faster and look much nicer. So I'm very happy about that. And I was even able to get a copy to stream and review and such. So I'm really looking forward to sticking with it and playing all the way through it on the deck.
Nice. Yeah. I'm hoping that this will, because it's gone on Steam now, that I'm hoping that with the new Dragon Quest Monsters game that's going to drop globally in December, I'm hoping that they'll eventually put it on Steam as well. Now, I understand why they put it as a Switch exclusive. All the Dragon Quest Monsters games over the years, kind of like Pokemon, where it's supposed to be more of a portable experience for the most part. So yes. Dragon Quest Monsters have always been on portable consoles, which has usually been almost always been a Nintendo console. There's been a few exceptions. There's been some remakes that have showed up on PlayStation, though those were Japan exclusive. Same thing with mobile, like Terry's Wonderland remake showed up on mobile, though again, Japan only. Like a lot of the recent Monster stuff has been Japan only, unfortunately. So it's great to see it back in the West again. But I hope that it eventually goes on Steam too, because Steam has that deck that you were talking about, that portable deck, the Steam Deck. So, why not put it on Steam as well? So you still have that portable experience. But like you said, higher graphical resolution, fidelity, everything. It'll be good.
Heck yeah. Again, that's what we have to root for. But if it's only a timed exclusive, they're not going to tell us. So we just have to wait and see how it goes.
That's true. And, so, again, I just gotta in my dreams just think about maybe we'll get Monsters on Steam as well. One can dream.
And, for some of us, that means like you and I, we actually, did you buy Treasures or did you get it for free? I don't remember.
Both. I got a copy as well, which I ended up gifting to a friend.
Well, that's very nice of you. But yeah, the first Treasures Switch version, I bought it, even though I wasn't even going to play it that much. But like, I streamed it and stuff, and I was happy to be able to check it out. And so I think there's people who will end up buying it twice because they're like, look, if it's exclusive, I'll buy it on the Switch. But, those people still would rather be able to play it in a nicer way. So perhaps they kind of make more money that way. But I still think it's better to just offer it simultaneously on both platforms. And that way people can choose the one that's right for them right off the bat.
Yeah, like with Infinity Strash, because that's going to be on pretty much every system imaginable right off the bat.
Heck yeah, everything. So that's exciting. Now then, as you, Mr. Pendy, float off to Dreamland, we'll call it quits for this episode of Slime Time Tactfully Die. Listeners, if you want to prepare for the next episode of our podcast, be sure to watch episodes 40, 41, and 42 of The Adventure of Dai, subtitled on Crunchyroll or dubbed on Hulu, the library app Hoopla, Vudu, or the Microsoft Store. It's on all those services.
Hell yeah. And we're a non-profit podcast. We won't half-inch your hard-earned gold when we can offer you quality content for free. But if you do have some extra gold that's just completely burning a hole in your wallet, pouch, bottomless bag, treasure chest, or searchable wall sack, and you would like to donate to anything to a website that's been supporting Dragon Quest fans for over 25 years, stop by the Dragon's Den by clicking the link in the show notes. There are several ways to support the Den, including the affiliate links that don't cost you anything extra when making other Dragon Quest purchases.
We even have a Slime Time t-shirt you can buy that was created by a resident artist, Dwayne. See the link for it in the show notes.
As part of the Slime Time Extended Universe, or STU, you can direct comments or questions for the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at DQ Slime Time.
And you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EastX Twitch. Come watch me play a variety of games every Saturday, kids, and be cool like that Nocturne guy we were talking about earlier.
Join in tons of Dragon Quest discussion at the Dragon's Den forums or Discord, and the Dragon Questers, Infinity Strash, and Dragon Quest Tact Global Facebook groups.
We'd like to thank everyone that made this podcast possible, including Pendy, Woodus, the Dragon's Den, and the Screen Actors Guild, who have just joined the Writers Guild on strike. May they win a favorable deal as soon as possible.
Time to watch more anime. Please like, subscribe, and write a review for the podcast.
We'll catch you later, everybody. Don't hate, appreciate.
Time to zoom on out of here.
Lately days are getting dark before you've had a chance, but remind yourself the truth can be a never-ending task. Even now, even now, even now with what we've got, how far can we go until it's gone? Sometimes I swear I hear a voice, look, no one's in the other room. All alone I thought I had an angel, someone keeping an eye on me. Turn to dust. I can't help but be proud of how far we've come. But I don't plan on backing down or letting my guard down, 'cause I knew a test would someday come my way. So I made a promise to remember every little thing, to every piece of my heart, keeping the fire burning, letting in the light to see what's waiting.
This is Gertrude for Slime Time, reminding you all that you must complete your adventure.